a rematch. Coach Guo steps in, telling Zhang Kai to accept his loss like a man. The coach then wonders aloud if the punch was just a lucky shot, deciding to test the theory on another team member named Xiao Lizi. Hearing his name, a spiky-haired boy freezes in terror. Though he assumes a fighting stance, he is clearly terrified, begging Lin Zichen for mercy and not to hit his face. 10 minutes later, the results are clear. Several martial arts team members are lying unconscious on the gym floor. Lin Zichen stands over them, noting he made sure not to go too hard on them and just exchanged a few blows. However, when he checks his system again, he is disappointed. Aside from the initial victory, none of the other spars counted toward his achievement. The rival count remains at 1,000. He realizes friendly sparring isn't enough. He has to defeat rivals in an official competition. As he thinks about this, a hand claps his shoulder. Coach Guo grins manically, declaring that Lin Zichen is a true genius. He exclaims that in just over a month, the newcomer has become the team's ace. Filled with new confidence, the coach proclaims that with Lin Zichen leading, their school will crush all others and take first place at this year's regional martial arts tournament. As Coach Guo celebrates, Lin Zichen has a moment of clarity. He realizes the coach is right. The upcoming tournament is the perfect opportunity to face many official opponents at once. He becomes determined, understanding that as long as he defeats them in an official competition, each victory should count toward his progress. His thoughts are interrupted when a defeated Zhang Kai calls his name. Having regained consciousness, Zhang Kai stands, points at Lin Zichen, and formally accepts his loss with a bizarre and overly graphic declaration of submission. His strange words leave everyone, including Shen Qinghan, Coach Guo, and Lin Zichen, completely shocked and disturbed. With the duel over, the spectators and coach quickly flee, leaving a bewildered Zhang Kai alone, complaining he hadn't finished his speech. In this world, high schoolers must choose between martial arts or academics. Given the world's dangers, the martial arts class is considered the superior choice. Determined not to be left behind, Shen Qinghan decides to join the martial arts class and begins training rigorously with Lin Zichen. Their daily routine is intense. They start with a 3,000-meter run, followed by an hour of hand-to-hand combat practice. After that, they do sit-ups and push-ups to build strength. To conclude each session, Lin Zichen gives Shen Qinghan a massage to relieve her muscle tension. Of course, Lin Zichen doesn't slack on his own training. He pushes himself to the limit daily, driven by the goal of winning the tournament and unlocking the natural selection attribute as quickly as possible. 1 month later, all their hard work is about to be tested. The day of the regional martial arts tournament has arrived, and a determined Lin Zichen is ready to compete. The tournament is at the massive city gymnasium, with a huge crowd around a central fighting ring. In the waiting area, the mood is tense. Coach Guo nervously reviews the roster, complaining that their school, Shanghai High, drew a match against the strongest team, Shanghai No. 1 High. Another team member adds to the anxiety, mentioning their opponents have a fighter who can run the 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds, leaving them feeling outmatched. Sensing the team's low morale, Lin Zichen calmly raises his hand and volunteers to fight first. Though still worried, Coach Guo agrees to let his ace take the stage. As Lin Zichen walks into the arena, Shen Qinghan cheers him on from the sidelines, while Coach Guo shouts encouragement through a megaphone. Lin Zichen readies himself for the fight. His opponent, a much larger and more muscular student from Shanghai No. 1 High, steps forward. He acknowledges Lin Zichen's talent for making it to the tournament as a first year. However, his tone quickly turns mocking. He sneers that the stage isn't meant for a shorty who hasn't even hit 1.7 meters. Flexing his bicep, he promises to show Lin Zichen what a true gap in size and power feels like. The referee signals for the duel to begin. The large opponent rushes forward, unleashing a powerful punch. To his shock, Lin Zichen doesn't retreat. He effortlessly sidesteps the blow and counters with a swift punch to his opponent's chest. The impact is devastating. The force sends the massive student flying backward across the arena, knocking him out cold. The announcer stares in stunned silence before stammering a victory for Lin Zichen. On the sidelines, Shen Qinghan jumps to her feet, cheering that her Xiao Chen was amazing. The rest of the Shanghai High team erupts in celebration, mobbing their coach and shouting that Lin Zichen is insane, dismissing his opponent's strength as dead muscle. Meanwhile, on the other side, the coach for Shanghai No. 1 High is furious. He berates his defeated student for charging in blindly without using his footwork. Back in the ring, Lin Zichen receives a system notification confirming he has defeated another tournament rival, improving his ranking and bringing his elimination count to 2,000. He clenches his fist, satisfied that these matches are what he needs to advance. The opposing coach, determined to stop this, calls his next fighter forward, a boy named Chen Feng, and orders him to crush the first year as quickly as possible. Chen Feng calmly agrees. He steps onto the stage and assumes a ready stance, looking far more composed than the last fighter. The announcer signals for the second duel to begin. Chen Feng immediately showcases his superior technique, moving with incredible speed and launching a flurry of attacks. Lin Zichen calmly meets the assault, blocking a powerful kick with one hand. However, the force of his block sends Chen Feng spinning wildly through the air before he crashes hard onto the arena floor, unconscious. Medics rush in with a stretcher and carry Chen Feng away, stating he needs a head scan. The crowd is left bewildered. They murmur among themselves, questioning what just happened and speculating that the student from Shanghai High must be insanely lucky. Some angry spectators shout that the tournament must be rigged, demanding a refund. However, the coach of Shanghai No. 1 High knows better. Clutching his head in despair, he realizes with dawning horror that this isn't luck. The first year from Shanghai High is the real deal. Back in the waiting area, the coach has a new strategy. He calls his next fighter, a spiky-haired boy named Gao Fei, and gives him strict orders to focus entirely on defense, warning him that he cannot afford to lose. Gao Fei, however, is brimming with confidence. He calmly tells his coach not to worry, assuring him he will win. As he walks to the ring, Gao Fei internally dismisses Lin Zichen's victories. He believes his opponent isn't strong and has only won through tricks. With his superior speed, running the 100-meter dash in under 9 seconds, and greater experience, he is certain he can't lose. The crowd is buzzing. Spectators discuss Gao Fei's reputation, marveling at his speed. One person mentions his father is a gene fusion user, explaining his enhanced abilities. The consensus is that Lin Zichen's impressive run is about to end, though they acknowledge his great potential. The announcer signals for the duel to begin. Ignoring his coach's instructions, Gao Fei immediately goes on the offensive, lunging at Lin Zichen with a powerful kick. He follows up with rapid strikes, unleashing his special technique, the flowing water-shattering rock fist. His coach watches in fury, shouting at his disobedient student for attacking. Gao Fei scoffs at defense, believing a genius like him doesn't need it. Meanwhile, Lin Zichen, easily evading the blows, finds the technique interesting and decides to learn it on the spot. Gao Fei grows frustrated as he can't land a single hit. He stops out of breath and demands to know how Lin Zichen is dodging his attacks. Unfazed, Lin Zichen calmly asks if he has any other moves, taunting him. Enraged, Gao Fei unleashes another desperate barrage of punches. Seeing the same predictable moves, Lin Zichen decides the time for observation is over. He thinks, "All right then, let's end this." He effortlessly dodges the final punch and counters with a single powerful kick to Gao Fei's midsection, ending the match instantly. The crowd is once again left in stunned, speechless silence. The silence is shattered by thunderous cheers from the Shanghai High supporters. Coach Guo and Shen Qinghan are ecstatic, shouting that their Xiao Chen is a beast and celebrating his third consecutive victory. The rest of the tournament proceeds just as easily. The next few opponents are even weaker. He effortlessly defeats each one, and soon he has single-handedly wiped out all 5 fighters from the opposing team. Over the next 2 days, the story is much the same. He continues his dominant performance, taking down 2 more schools by himself. Thanks to his incredible display, he successfully leads Shanghai High to win the championship. He and his team proudly pose with their medals and trophy. However, as he checks his system, his rival count is only 16,000. He realizes with disappointment that at this rate, it will take years to unlock the natural selection attribute. Despite his slow quest progress, there is a silver lining. He didn't expect Coach Guo to be so generous, but he gets the bulk of the tournament prize money, a full 20,000 yuan. Combining this with prize money from academic competitions, he now has around 30,000 yuan. That money doesn't last long. He immediately spends it all at the supermarket on a massive supply of ghost shadow squid meat. For the next several weeks, he devours the expensive meat at every meal. After consuming 30 jin, his codex unlock progress for the ghost shadow squid reaches 33%. His intensive training and consumption of beast meat pay off. By his second year of middle school, he breaks through to the next level, advancing from ordinary Tier 3 to Tier 4. His physical abilities reach new heights. He can now effortlessly lift 1890 kilograms with one hand, jump 5.65 meters vertically, and sprint 100 meters in just 4.49 seconds. Time flies, and soon, he and Shen Qinghan graduate from Shanghai's middle school division. However, when the high school entrance exam results are released, their paths seem destined to diverge. A heartbroken Shen Qinghan sits in her room, crying. She asks Lin Zichen why, after all her hard work, they can't go to the same high school anymore. He explains that while he ranked first in both liberal arts and martial arts, and her academic scores were excellent, her martial arts score wasn't high enough for the elite class at Shanghai High. As he comforts the crying Shen Qinghan, she asks what will happen now. He tells her the principal of Shanghai High is coming to his house, likely to recruit him, and asks if she will come. Feeling hopeless, she tearfully replies that it has nothing to do with her, as the principal is obviously only coming for him. Taking her hand, Lin Zichen pulls her up and leads her out of the room. He tells her not to worry. He has a plan. He reveals his one condition for staying at Shanghai High. Shen Qinghan has to be his deskmate. As promised, the principal of Shanghai High visits Lin Zichen's home. She, his mother, and Shen Qinghan discuss his future for several hours, with the principal expressing how much she wants him to stay at her school. As the meeting concludes, the principal stands to leave. As a final offer, she tells Lin Zichen that if he agrees to stay, she will grant any request he has. Taking the opportunity, Lin Zichen states his one condition. Shen Qinghan must be allowed to continue in the same class with him. The principal looks at the nervous Shen Qinghan and confirms her name. Without hesitation, she agrees. With a smile, she tells them both to report to Shanghai High together for the new school year. Overjoyed, Lin Zichen and Shen Qinghan thank her. With their high school future secured, Lin Zichen participates in his final junior high martial arts tournament. As expected, his overwhelming power easily leads his team to another championship. He decides to use the prize money to finally unlock the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex. He was only 20% away, and the new prize money was enough to max out the progress bar. Unsure what might happen, he travels to a secluded forest outside Shanghai for safety. Deciding not to waste time, he begins devouring the life essence from the last of the squid meat. A powerful blue energy surrounds him as a system notification confirms he is absorbing a large amount of essence. His eyes widen as he feels a final surge of power, and the Codex progress bar hits 100%. A new notification announces he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex and obtained a new biological attribute, Blessing of Liquid Affinity. The ability enhances his affinity with water, allowing him to move freely and even vanish in aquatic environments. However, as the power settles, he stands in the quiet forest holding the limp squid tentacles and feels his new ability is kinda underwhelming. Still feeling underwhelmed, Lin Zichen tests his new ability in a nearby pond. He finds his Blessing of Liquid Affinity has some benefits. He can soak for long periods without his skin wrinkling, and swimming is much easier with reduced water resistance. However, there are no other noticeable effects. He sits in the water and rationalizes that since the Ghost Shadow Squid is a low-tier beast, it's fair the ability isn't very powerful. He resolves that to get better attributes, he will either have to save up for higher-grade beast meat or become strong enough to hunt powerful wild mutant beasts himself. The memory of the terrifying giant mutant rats strengthens his resolve, and he clenches his fist, determined to grow stronger. With less than a week before school begins, Lin Zichen's mother and Shen Qinghan's family decide to go on a trip. To better study his new liquid affinity, Lin Zichen suggests they go to the beach. As they stand in the ocean, Shen Qinghan shivers and complains the seawater is cold. Lin Zichen, however, feels perfectly at home. He tells her to ease into it, and then dives into the water, swimming with incredible speed. As he moves, his system rewards him with stat points for swimming and diving. From the shore, a nervous Shen Qinghan calls out, asking him to teach her how to swim. Lin Zichen pops his head out of the water, suddenly remembering his childhood friend doesn't know how yet. He begins patiently teaching her the basics. Given her average athletic talent, he assumes she will struggle. However, Shen Qinghan proves him wrong. She excitedly exclaims that swimming is surprisingly easy, and that she learned it right away, diving effortlessly. She swims gracefully and surfaces with a look of shock, surprised she can dive without any instruction. Lin Zichen watches in shock as a strange blue aura of water seems to emanate from her. After she surfaces, she excitedly tells him how amazing it feels. She notes that while opening one's eyes underwater usually stings, she feels no discomfort. In fact, she finds it cool and pleasant. Her words leave Lin Zichen deep in thought. He watches her swim away, finding the situation unusual. He reasons that even with a natural talent for water, there's no way she could have mastered all the skills so instantly. Her rapid learning is simply not normal. Suddenly, a realization dawns on him. He recalls her lifelong problem with bedwetting when nervous. He wonders if this weakness is actually a sign of a powerful, innate water affinity she was born with. The idea excites him. He becomes convinced she might possess some kind of special cultivation body, like a character from his parents' Xianxia novels. To test his theory, they continue diving. Her performance shocks him even more as they explore the underwater world. He notes they have been holding their breath for over 10 minutes, an incredible feat for a beginner like Shen Qinghan. As they swim, Shen Qinghan's expression suddenly changes. A strange, swirling sound begins to vibrate through the water around her. Both look up, trying to find the source. They surface abruptly, and Shen Qinghan cries out as the glowing blue water swirls around her. Later that night, as they walk along the beach, Lin Zichen asks what happened. Shivering, she explains that underwater, she kept hearing strange and creepy sounds right by her ear. He comforts her and asks what kind of sounds. She tells him she couldn't understand the language, but it was a female voice that echoed non-stop until she surfaced. To help a frightened Shen Qinghan calm down, Lin Zichen brings her back to their hotel room. Later, he searches online for information about the strange female voice, but finds no results. Unsettled and unable to sleep, he uses his restless energy to train. As he performs 1,000 weighted sit-ups, he feels a sudden surge of power. A system notification announces his hard work has paid off. He has advanced to ordinary tier 5. Surprised but pleased, he considers his new strength. He realizes that at tier 5, he is powerful enough to rival a fully grown giant mutant rat. A determined glint appears in his eyes as he clenches his fist, confident that tearing the beasts apart with his bare hands is no longer impossible. Eager to test his new limits, he goes to the empty beach at night. The stat boost is immense. His 100-meter dash time has dropped to a mere 3.64 seconds, and his vertical jump has increased to an incredible 6.98 meters. To test his strength, he finds a nearby car and discovers he can now lift the 1,600-kilogram vehicle with one hand. With this new progress, his life moves forward. The vacation ends, and he and Shen Qinghan begin high school at Shanghai High. On their first day, they arrive early for class duty. Two new female classmates immediately recognize him, whispering excitedly about how handsome he is and how lucky they are to be on duty with him. While he is surprised his classmates know him, something even more unexpected happens. Simply performing class duty triggers a new system quest. The achievement requires completing 1,000 cooperative tasks for a new biological attribute. Social animal. As he cleans the classroom with Shen Qinghan, he wonders what this new attribute will do. Since the school year has just begun, he takes the opportunity to visit the Mammoth supermarket after school. Now that he has unlocked the Ghost Shadow Squid Codex, he knows it's time to choose a new target for his ability. As he browses the expensive beast meat section, his eyes lock onto a new item. In one of the refrigerated cases is the packaged head of a savage